A nation ignited. Angola is trembling, not from war or natural disaster, but from the collective cry of a betrayed generation. In Luanda, the capital, thousands of voices shout in unison, "We are hungry. Down with misery." What started as a protest over fuel prices has exploded into something far deeper. A nationwide uprising, a youth-led storm of resistance, fueled by desperation and injustice. Social media platforms are ablaze with footage. Teenagers face off against riot police, roads blocked by burning tires, mothers weeping in front of government buildings. The atmosphere is thick with tear gas and fury. These are not isolated demonstrations, they are the voice of a generation with nothing left to lose. At the center of this chaos is not just anger, it's resolve. Angola's youth have said, enough, this is their story. Coming up, who are these young protesters? What fuels their fire? Before we dive deeper, we ask you, don't just watch this moment in history, be part of it. Like this video to support Angola's youth. Share it so the world hears their cry. And drop a comment with your message of solidarity, because silence helps the oppressor, never the oppressed. This isn't just their story, it's Africa's, it's ours, it's yours. Voices of a hungry generation. If there is one sound that defines this uprising, it's the chants echoing across Angola, "Nós temos fome," we are hungry. These words are not metaphors, they are reality. From university students to moto taxi drivers to unemployed graduates, Angola's youth are marching with signs made of cardboard and hope. One mother yelled at the cameras, "How will we feed our children? The prices must go down." These protests weren't spontaneous, they were organized online through WhatsApp, Facebook, TikTok. Activists like Dito Dali coordinated efforts, filmed police brutality, and shared the evidence with the world. One viral video showed a group of teenagers peacefully singing, just moments before tear gas filled the air. From downtown Luanda to the rural provinces, the rebellion spread like wildfire. It's not just the capital that's marching, it's the nation. A cross-class, cross-regional alliance is rising. Government crackdown, the iron fist. The response from President João Lourenço's government. Uncompromising violence. Before a single chant could be heard, Luanda was already filled with riot police. Armored vehicles rolled through neighborhoods. Snipers were posted on rooftops. Protesters, mostly unarmed, were met with rubber bullets, tear gas, and in some cases, live ammunition. Hospitals were overwhelmed. At least 22 civilians were killed, including teenagers. Over 1,200 were arrested, many dragged from their homes during midnight raids. Human rights groups like Amnesty International and Human Rights Watch condemned the use of excessive force. Yet the crackdown didn't stop there. A new law, the Crimes of Vandalism Act, threatens up to 25 years in prison for protest-related damage. Another law empowers the state to shut down radio, television, and internet signals during civil unrest. The government has now framed these peaceful protesters as criminals with foreign agendas. State media went silent. Independent journalists were harassed. Poverty, joblessness, and betrayal, the real triggers. To understand why Angola's youth are risking their lives, you have to understand what they've lived through. The immediate spark was the removal of fuel subsidies. In 2023, gasoline prices rose by 80% overnight. Diesel surged again in 2025. Taxi fares doubled. Food prices skyrocketed. For a population already struggling, this was catastrophic. But this wasn't just about fuel. It was about years, decades of systemic failure. Angola is rich in oil, yet over half the population lives on less than $3.65 a day. Youth unemployment is staggering, officially around 60%. Even those with university degrees are driving moto taxis or selling SIM cards in the street. Inflation has eroded the value of wages. In 2025 alone, Angola's inflation hit 27%. Every trip to the market costs more. A simple bag of flour is now out of reach for millions. Meanwhile, corruption thrives. The Luanda leak scandal revealed billions embezzled by former President José Eduardo dos Santos's family. Glaring inequality defines Angola's capital, shimmering high-rises for the elite, tin-roofed slums for the poor, foreign hands in an internal struggle. Though the uprising is rooted in domestic injustice, foreign forces are not innocent. First, the International Monetary Fund, IMF. Their structural adjustment programs pushed Angola to eliminate fuel subsidies. Foreign investors applauded, the poor starved. To the IMF, it was fiscal discipline. To Angola's youth, it was betrayal. Then China, which now holds nearly 40% of Angola's debt. In exchange for infrastructure, Angola mortgaged its oil. After a brief debt relief period during COVID, repayments resumed in 2023, crippling Angola's budget and prompting spending cuts. Meanwhile, Chinese companies continue extracting oil and building railways, while Angolan hospitals run out of medicine and schools crumble. The United States and Europe also say little. They have billions invested in Angolan oil through companies like Chevron, ExxonMobil, and Total Energies. As long as oil flows, few questions are asked. And Africa? The African Union and SADC have stayed silent. No statement, no solidarity, a brotherhood of governments, afraid their own youth might follow Angola's example. Angola's youth are not only battling their regime, they are battling a global system that profits from their silence. A continental awakening. What's happening in Angola isn't an anomaly, it's a symptom of a larger awakening across Africa. In Nigeria, youth rose up under the number End SARS movement. In Kenya, young people marched against corruption and inequality. In Sudan, protesters overthrew a dictator. Across the continent, Africa's youth, who make up more than 70% of the population, are reclaiming their power. They are not waiting, they are organizing. They are digital, united, and fearless. From TikTok to Telegram, Angola's protests are going viral. One protester's chant becomes another country's battle cry. Angola's streets are not just a battlefield, they are a beacon. This generation is the most educated and connected Africa has ever known. They are tired of being told, "Wait your turn." They're taking it now. As Nigerian activist Rinu Oduwala put it, protests by young people aren't a crime. They are demands for what is rightfully ours. Africa's youth are not rising, they've already risen. To Angola's youth, your courage is historic, your voices matter. To African leaders, the days of ruling without accountability is over. A hungry people cannot be governed with tear gas. To every viewer, this is not just Angola's fight, it's a continental moment, a rejection of corruption, exploitation, and silence. The streets of Luanda are stained with both sorrow and courage. But courage is louder. If this story moved you, like this video to boost its reach. Share it to awaken more voices across the continent. Comment below with one word, hope, to let Angola's youth know they are not alone. And if you believe in a new Africa, subscribe to this channel. This is where Africa tells her story, uncensored, unshaken, unapologetic. Because the future belongs to the young, and the young are rising now.